why for me, more so in the Prem, when we play low blocks, obviously I want Arsenal to score every minute, but when we're playing low blocks or when it's evidently clear that's what's going to happen, I want us to score within the first 5 minutes, just because you're asking them a question. Are they going to stick to the script, or no matter how defensive they are, they're a goal down now, you need to come and ask us questions. Now we've drawn them out, we can kind of play to our strengths type of thing. But then it leads me to ask you this, yeah, because people say Arteta is a defensive coach. I say, yeah, he should be. He should be every sort of phase of play coach. But he has shown us, we all talk about the 2022-23 season. Whatever people say, he has found some level of a trick with Kai Havertz, with Marino, with previously Smith Rowe and Saka. So he showed me you can coach attacking phases of play. So it's like, do you want to do that for whatever reason? Or is it a thing where he can't do it? Where do you stand with that?
I think he can do it. I think he's got to be a bit more adventurous. Like I said, I think we've got to try and vary things as well. He's this guy here has said it in essence there. He needs to take more risks. He needs to be a little bit more expansive. You know what I mean? We need to be a bit more expansive, a bit more risque, encourage the players to go for it a bit more. Sometimes we can be a bit too controlled, you know what I mean? Everything is controlled. You're watching the game and you think it's almost like the man's playing the game on some kind of
PlayStation control. Yeah.
We need to have a bit more maverick about us, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, earlier we spoke about Max Damon picking up the ball, making that direct run into the box, drew the penalty, did it twice. Ethan picking up the ball on the edge of the box, beating two men, having a shot, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Even if you have the shot and you don't score, you might get the rebound. Gyökeres might be within distance. The keeper spills a ball or pushes it into the path of a Gyökeres and he puts it in. He could get goals like that. There's so many different ways, but I do think we do need to be a bit more varied in the way we go about things, because at the moment we're becoming a little bit too easy to read. I mean, like I said, Villarreal did it to us the other day. You could see what they were doing. You know what I mean?
And they've been conceding for goals for fun this preseason.
Sorry?
They've been conceding goals for fun this preseason as well. Like, so for them to say, you know, we're going to do a low block, it raises a question, man. Like, we need to change, Laurie, man.
And the thing is as well, the other thing is, when a team is adopting that low block against you and they score first, then it makes it even harder, because then they know we got the goal in the bag. We could just sit back now and not even try an attack.
We might even get a second.
Yeah, because obviously they invite you onto them, ball over the top. It happened against Villarreal the other day.
The last goal, isn't it?
They just catch you. That third goal they scored, Danjuma. Long ball over the top. He was in. Very good finish, by the way. But that's what can happen at that level. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Do you think the players need it as well? Like, because I mentioned about like focus and psychological stuff. I don't think the players have down tools, but naturally in life, when you're learning something and doing the same things, it's not that you're not inspired, but it doesn't awake that kind of galvanized spirit in you. Like, and I do think it's not that we're going through the motions, but I do think we're kind of going through the motions a lot of the time. Like, do you think psychologically the players could do with some new tactics, maybe different areas when this one's got the ball where you got to be, maybe different areas you occupy on the field? Like, do you think they psychologically need that?
Yeah, I think it's something we got to work on. Listen, I'm sure they are doing it. I can't believe a world where they're not talking about these types of things, because like I said, they're coming up against this type of thing most weeks in Premier League football. Most times Arsenal play, you're going to, like I said, if it ain't City, Liverpool, maybe Chelsea, even Chelsea do low block when they play us. But most teams are going to have the low block. So it's something that you have to factor into the equation when you know what I mean, when you're devising strategies against these teams. So I just think it is not easy, though. I would say that
it's definitely not easy.
I mean, I used to manage a team myself, and I've seen it happen to us, albeit at a very low level, because they know that we had players in our team that are very, very good, very talented. They would just sit back and just wait for an opportunity to hit you on the counter, and sometimes it works for them.
Because you get frustrated. The more they defend, the more you fly forward and then bang.
Yeah. The trouble with Arsenal is there's so much pressure on them that, you know what I mean, you can see why sometimes it doesn't quite work out. They have to learn to be able to cope with that pressure. Because every game, the margins for error now are so slim.
Tiny.
Especially what Liverpool were doing. You imagine if you go to United, say, for example, United, we go there next week and we get a draw, which, let's be honest, wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? But if Liverpool go and win, immediately that's
You know how our fan base are, man.
You've dropped 2 points that at the end of the season, that could be crucial. You know what I mean? So the pressure is on, man. 100%.
What do you make of this question? Because this pressure is definitely. What do you make of this? Big up, Junior. Top show, lads. Is Arteta more moist than Pep? Wenger midfields all old pension OOP grafters, not technical ballers. Feels reactive, sets up for the opposition rather than focus on the players' strengths. So I guess in theory, he's asking: is he more moist than Pep?
No, I wouldn't say he's a Moyes, man.
To be fair, let's have respect for Moyes Jr., everyone. But David Moyes is a big manager, you know, he's done things in the game.
Like, yeah, but Moyes, I wouldn't say he's a Moyes. And that's not disrespecting him. No, he's not Wenger either.
Pep in terms of like he wants to over focus and micromanage everything and every eventuality. Maybe Moyes in terms of the emphasis on the defending, if I'm honest with you. If I'm keeping that question there, then yeah, he's probably more Moyes than Pep.
I would describe Arteta as a possession-based guy that is pragmatic rather than risque, and he likes to play controlled possession football. That is his thing. You know what I mean? You even see him the way he is on the bench, the way he communicates with the players. He's quite hands-on, isn't he? He's quite you'll be telling him where to go, when to pass it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
It's like he still wants to play. Like, he's always near, like even against Spurs when Paul was pushing him.
You know, you get those people in life, they're very deep thinkers. You know what I mean? Arteta seems to me one of them.
That's why he's a manager, isn't it? You got by default, like you man, overthinkers.
But you also have to be a little bit, how can I, you also have to have a certain degree of adaptability, you know what I mean, that you can change things on the fly a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And football in general is becoming very controlled.
It's just
we're seeing that not just from Arsenal. Football like that now is where players there's this emphasis on not giving away the ball, not taking risks. Everyone's got to be in their right positions to, you know what I mean? It's very controlled. And I think Arteta is one of those managers. He likes control. He likes possession. He likes control. And he likes to play things a certain way. What I'm saying is that we need to be a little bit more adaptable so that when we play teams that are very structured and, you know what I mean, so we can circumvent
some solutions.
Yeah.
And that's where,
like I said, I'm sure he's working on all. I mean, he seems like a very intelligent man. I'm sure that they're doing all this stuff. We just need to see it more on the pitch. And hopefully, if you get the right players in, that's why I think, I don't know about you, but I think Eze, if we can get Eze done sooner rather than later, that would be a massive boost for us.
Which brings me on to this, man, which I was just going to ask you again. Shout out the latte firm. I think they had Sammy Mokbel where he said, do I think Eze to Arsenal will happen? As of today, I will say not happening. Where I think there might be leeway is if they sell Trossard and maybe one other, Eze could arrive as a multifunctional forward. What does that make you feel? Because surely that kind of dampens the mood where Eze is concerned. Me, I don't really want to hear this. Like, I need to be hearing Eze's having his medical, but where are you at with that? Because we need this guy.
I spoke to somebody yesterday who I can't name, but he assures me that he has connections within the club. And he said to me, Laurie, I'm very positive about the signing. It may not happen in the next week or so, but he didn't say 100% sure, but he said that the vibes are positive. The player definitely wants to come. Things are moving in the right direction. And he says to me that he thinks that the deal will get done before the transfer window closes. So if that is the case, then I'm very happy about that, because we need a guy like this, man. We are crying out for somebody like this. You only had to see him play for Palace last season. What he brings you, man, is exactly some of the things that we've spoken about that we're missing out on at the moment. He could be that final piece of the jigsaw.
Oh, it's Eze. Like, obviously, the added caveat with Eze is he's a London lad. He was in our academy. But if I'm honest with you, I don't really care about that. He's an absolute baller. He can play enough positions. Me and you have been talking about low blocks. He can help us with that. The man can play and put pressure on Odegaard, if not take his spot, make the left wing his own. Whether Arteta wants to change his tactics is another, but there's scope to maybe drop a Rice or a Zubimendi, whichever one, have one as the sixth, and then have him and Odegaard on the field. And I'm of the belief you can never have too many good players. Like, I know when you've probably, whether it's on your own channel or AFTV and all the stuff, or just speaking with people that yeah, a lot of things that is thrown around with Eze is, he's not a left winger. I hear that, but for me, I'm not the thing now, Laurie. Sign the guy and deal with all that after, man. Like, you need to just get this guy through the door. I don't want to hear nothing else, man. We need.
If you look at Eze's attributes, he's actually everything that we need in terms of the way he plays. His DNA as a player, man. What does he do? He likes to go past people. He likes to shoot. He can create things. You know what I mean? He's a maverick on the ball. He's physically strong. You know what I mean? He's got the right attitude
right now. Mode.
Yeah, he's Premier League proven and tested. Like I said, he could be the game changer for Arsenal this season. I really do believe that. And not just him. I think obviously the striker as well. But he, as your contributor says there, he has that X factor that can be a major difference when we're playing teams that just sit deep and don't want to attack us and want to defend and make it difficult. You have Eze running at them, doing things. I think that's a major plus for Arsenal, and we need to make that signing happen sooner rather than later.
Needs to happen, man. Like, I must admit, I hoped he'd be in by now. He's probably not going to be in anytime soon, and he's got the Community Shield to think about. One thing I like about him is I'm not comparing him to Saka, and obviously Palace, big club, good players. I mean, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, right? And there has been other players, but one reason I like Eze is he had to do the Saka thing initially. Well, Saka's still doing it, but he had to do the Saka thing where I'm sure we were living or dying by what Saka could do. I know there's 11 players out there, but if Saka didn't make the difference, we were in trouble. And I think a bit of that has been the case of his career at Palace. So with that, if he signs for us and he looks left and Odegaard's there, Saka's there, the big man Gyökeres through the middle and all the names I'm not saying, you just need this to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
100%.
If we don't get Eze, would you have Lookman? Because we've also been linked with him for 45 million quid.
Lookman is a good player, but I've got to be honest, man. My eggs are very firmly in the Eze basket. No disrespect to Lookman, who is a very good player as well, but I'm all for Eze, man. I can't see past that right now. Sorry.
That's where I'm at. I don't want to see past that. Like,
yeah.
Do you think if we did get Eze, it would be Eze and done?
I think for now, yeah. There's been talk about Rodrigo. I can't see that happening. Rodrigo's on astronomical wages.
They're saying loan with an obligation.
Yeah. But I can't see that. I think Eze will be the final piece of the jigsaw. And if we get him, I'll be more emboldened. I'd go from confident to very confident.
Does he get in the starting 11?
Eze?
For me, he does. But
you could play him as a left-sided forward on the wing or through the middle. He may not start every game, but he would get plenty of game time. Put it that way.
And that what you said there is interesting, because I obviously know if Arsenal are going to go for Eze, whether it's Burr or Arteta, whoever, they obviously like the guy, right? But I would love to know what is their internal view on Eze beyond just him being a good player, because Odegaard's the captain. I'm not saying he can't get dropped, you can't improve on him or whatnot, but he'd probably fair to assume, at least for now, Arteta's going to persist with him. We're not going to see either a Rice or Zubimendi drop out and have like a system of 1, 6 and 2 rotating 8. So Eze's not going to get there. Left wing, fair play. It does seem like fair game. Whoever can make that theirs. Like if I was Eze, assuming we signed him, if I was Martinelli, Trossard, a fit Jesus, whoever could play on that left, equally, I would fancy my chances that I could make that my own. And then also you do hear with rumours that Nwaneri signing a new contract has made us a tiny bit more relaxed on the Eze front, right? And you could throw Dalman in if you want. But it's like, how do you think we view Eze internally then? Like, do we rate Eze as highly as us fans? Like, is it really a needle mover, do you feel? Or is it just a multifunctional forward that increases?
I think potentially he's definitely a needle mover. I think he is. And what I would say about players fighting for places, listen, it's a meritocracy. May the best man win. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, is if you're going to have a team, a top team that's winning things and challenging for trophies, you need to have players where there's competition for places. The best teams always have competition for places. So having Eze in the mix in that forward line, whether it be in the left or through the middle, hey, the best man wears the shirt. Simple as that.
Simple
You know
as
what I
that.
mean?
Like, end of the day,
Yeah.
if you've got the shirt, don't let someone come and take it from you. If
Yeah.
you're coming into this team, come and take someone's shirt. Give Arteta problems.
Because the way that works is it works for the dynamics of the team. You know what I mean? So the best man wins in terms of getting that shirt.
And then my last one for you before I let you get out of here, Laurie. Appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribing to Laurie's channel as well. It's in the title of the video, people. Smash the like buttons and stuff. We've kind of touched on Martinelli. That he basically said that we internally decided at the football club not to move him on because we didn't think we'd get what we feel is a fair transfer fee because his season has been rubbish. And we're hoping that, you know, next season is different. But Trossard, like, how do you view this Trossard thing? Because it feels like there's been a contract offer on the table and then he's gone away from it. And 1 minute he's going to stay, then he's going to go. Now we're of the belief that, based on reports, if Eze's to come in, then Trossard has to go. And he's probably a lot easier to move on than Martinelli. Like, would you feel comfortable with him going? Where are you at with that?
He's been a good player for Arsenal. There's no doubt about it. But I do think that, his time at Arsenal, unfortunately, is coming to an end, I would say. Apparently, he's been maybe not demanding, but he's made it clear that he wants more first team football. And I can understand that. He's a quality player, given his age as well. Given the fact that it's World Cup year, you would imagine that he'll want to be in that Belgian team that plays in the World Cup this year. So listen, if any deal is a benefit to both parties, then I could see him moving on. I think it's far more likely that he's going to move on rather than Martinelli.
100%.
Although Martinelli could possibly fetch more money, but I think it is more likely that Trossard would go. But I think it's probably mutually beneficial. And I'm not trying to kick him out the door. That's just me being honest. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, good player, though. He's a very good player on his day. And he did well for Arsenal.
He's done very well for us, man. Like, in an ideal world, I mean, I'm a bit greedy, but I'd love your Rodrigos and Eze's and, you know, Gyökeres and Saka. You lot do your thing. But if I've got Martinelli off the bench where I want to stretch teams, and obviously I'm disregarding financial outlay, and you've got Trossard who, quote unquote, super sub, you know, he has been a decent player for us across the course of a season. I'm very happy with our attacking options. I'm very happy with them, but it is what it is. I can understand, like you said, with wanting more first team football because he's not an idiot. He probably knows that if there wasn't, go on, I'll carry on. He's like, he probably knows people. If it wasn't because of injuries, he probably wouldn't have got the football. He knows Madueke's just come in. If Eze comes in, that's enough one. And this isn't, you know, he's known that before. In a couple of years, we've said this. And the age he's at with the, as Laurie said, which went over my head, like World Cup, you have to probably get more money if you can elsewhere. And if not more money, a longer contract. You know what, Trossard, you can leave with your head held high, man, if I'm honest with you. What I want to say is, yeah, Laurie, before I let you get out of it, it's been a very good stream, but this is a very good question, and I'd love to pick your brains for this. Flip Mode said, question, why do you think the club prioritized Noni Madueke over Eze if he's a needle mover, which I agree with, by the way? Would you say to that? I think you're muted, Laurie, you know? I think Louis on mute. Can you hear us? I think your mic's disconnected, Laurie, you know, if you can hear me. Oh, is he back?
Yeah, I think my mic is on, right?
Oh, you're back now. You're back now.
Yeah,
Did you hear the question or?
Yeah, about the Madueke thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting signing, that was, to say the least. It wasn't overly popular with Arsenal fans. I've got to be honest, I wasn't necessarily in favour of it. But I can see why now that Madueke's come in. He was available. He's covered for the wings. I mean, I know he's primarily a right winger rather than a left-sided winger. But he does strengthen our options in that position. And by all accounts, I mean, I know a few Chelsea fans. Shout out to Matisse. I've spoken to him at length about Madueke, and he assures me that his main attributes is that he's direct, he has very good dribbling ability, and he's aggressive in terms of wanting to take on the fullbacks and stuff like that. So if he can bring that to Arsenal, that will be definitely something that is needed. And I would imagine that he'll play more on the left than he would do on the right. So yeah,
Even though Arteta said they play both, but I agree.
and let's be honest, it's a far cheaper option than Rodrigo would have been. And I'm not even sure if Rodrigo really wanted to come to the Premier League or come to Arsenal. So
Or
I can
leave
see why.
stop.
Yeah. So of the options, of the available options that were out there, the club obviously saw that Madueke was probably the best one, and that's probably the truth, to be honest. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, he didn't have the best start against Villarreal. He came on, well, he only got 10 minutes, missed a penalty, so it wasn't the most fortuitous of beginnings. But listen, man, let's hope he starts tomorrow against Bilbao, or if he starts, he gets minutes, because we need to see him.
And to be fair to him, he did want to go to the tour. Well, we're led to believe he wanted to go to the tour. The club said tech time. So I will support you. I will give you your fair dues. You do well. Praise. You do shaky.
I'm hearing he's been looking really sharp in training.
I need to see sharpness on the pitch, man, because I think I like Madueke, but I do think we're signing too many players at times where it's not that they're bad, but we're having to do the ifs, and if this can happen and we're squinting, I just want to look at you like I look at Eze, like you're a baller. To my flip on to answer your question, Flip, from my perspective, I personally think one, it was probably easier to do for the Madueke deal because Chelsea were repeat customers to them. They'll probably let us tailor that deal. 50 million people might look at it mad, but they think that's fair value for Madueke. I don't feel Arsenal feel Eze's release clause is fair value because it's expired. We've been told that there's no kind of willingness to pay his release clause. We want to negotiate below that. So that's probably why. And plus, we probably know Eze wants to join us. We flush players out. We bring in some money. We might go for him. That being said, though, I would have probably tried to move heaven and earth to get Eze, maybe even offered a Trossard or something, or Nelson in some level of a deal. But I will look at this. For me, I want Rodrigo, I want Eze, I want all these guys. If I don't get Eze and we've only got Madueke, Arteta, you know what you still need to win, regardless of what is brought in. You know what you need to go and do in next season, innit? So
yeah,
we'll
man,
have to see.
I mean, listen, I don't know about you, Deluded, but if we get Eze, I think that's been a really good window.
Yeah, if we get Eze, fair play.
From Kepa, I think that's a good backup keeper. I think Norgard's going to be already seeing his qualities. I think he's going to be good. Likewise, Zubimendi, excellent player. Who else we brought in? Obviously, Gyökeres. He could be the ace in the hole. Norgard, Zubimendi, Kepa, Mosquera. And then if we bring in Eze, man, I think that is a really good window. And I would also go as far as to say there's no excuses now.
No, for me, there's no excuses regardless, but there's definitely no excuses.
We have to win something. I mean, I know some people are saying it has to be one of the majors, which is Premier League or Champions League. I'm not so sure. A lot of people seem to be thinking that it's going to be easy to win the Premier League this season. Anything but. I mean, Liverpool, they won the Premier League. Let's be honest, pretty much at a canter, innit? The Premier League was over last season with about 3 or 4 games to go. And Liverpool since then have gone out and strengthened in big style. You know what I mean?
And about to get Isak sooner rather than
later. And they could get Isak, which will make the challenge of winning the Premier League even harder. So when people say, oh, he has to win the Premier League or that's it, that's a very harsh assessment. What I would say, though, is given where we are and given the signings that's been made, I would say that it's incumbent upon the manager to win at least one trophy this season. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah. Or? I think the only way to shut people up is obviously the dream would be the champs. I don't think you'd be killed off metaphorically for not winning the Champions League. I think everyone can understand, how difficult the Prem is, but I think the only way to shut up even your harshest critic is to win the Prem. And I don't think an FA Cup or a League Cup, if not both, would save you. But that would save face. Even the most harshest of Mikel Arteta fan or someone that wants him out would say, I still feel the same way. It's not a major, but I still had a day out at Wembley. And for me as well, away from how us fans feel necessarily or Mikel Arteta, I think the players deserve to win the trophy. I think the players need it more than anything, man, because you flirted with it and it can't be nice. you know, having the great games you did against Madrid and how it ended against PSG, how we kind of floated to the finishing line in the Premier League the year before that, obviously last day of the season, and everything in between. Like, they need to have that day at Wembley. They need to have that little history. Like, I know they want to win major trophies. I know people at our football club have won trophies away from it. And I also know fans look down on the League Cup and the FA Cup, but trophies are not a given as a professional footballer. Granted, if you're playing for the traditional top 6 or bigger teams in Europe, you're going to win. But it's those kind of memories. And when it's all said and done, there ain't nothing in history for the last 3 years. And I think some of these players, if not all of them, are good enough to etch their name in this club's history in their own way. So we got to get over the line, Laurie, man. We have to.
100%. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. For a club of our size and what we purport to be, it's absolutely essential that we win trophies. It's been far too long now. Like you said, some people may look down their noses at the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Not me, man. At the end of the day, I'm a fan. I want my team to win trophies. Like you said as well, the players, it's incumbent upon them to start winning things. You can't be at a club like Arsenal and have nothing to show for it. It's very important that we win things. Yes, in an ideal world, you want that to be the majors, i.e. the Premier League or the Champions League. But that being said, those trophies are extremely difficult to win, man. You know what I mean? So